Geometry Dash's biggest social experiment. I've never watched a Matt Mart video. I think the biggest social experiment is why people even want to watch me.
Today, I'm telling you about some of the most interesting Geometry Dash players to ever rise up and make even the best fear their presence. These players are unique because they never actually existed, they were just illusions. So to introduce how this is even possible in the first place, first I'll tell you about a small-scale secret operation. In Geometry Dash, everyone has their reasons for creating, pushing the limits to see what's possible, conveying their ideas through deep and thought-provoking designs, and slightly increasing this number. This is the amount of creator points.
Wait, what? I was just about to ask what number it was, and he immediately explained it in the video. Like, subscribe. Usually I get super confused in videos and I have to ask chat, wait, what's this? What's this thing? I don't know. That's a good content creator right there. Introduces something, immediately gives context, bro. That is a knock out of the park.
Points a player has, and getting even one is considered to be the hardest achievement in the game. You can only get them if RobTop approves of your level and gives it a star value along with the quality rating. RobTop's a busy man, so most levels first have to go through the
He wouldn't be so busy if he hired a team. Sorry, we can't.
Geometry Dash moderation team. This is Mikasta GD, who's quite obviously hacking a level. Mikasta's replays consisted of obvious no-clip and some very incoherent descriptions.
That's so obvious.
Examples. As usual, people would expose Mikasta for hacking, but soon they'd realize they were dealing with a completely different entity. All of a sudden, Mikasta would mention half of the GD mods on Twitter with the request to send his level to RobTop. This was his creation.
What are we talking about
I
here?
thought this guy was dumb. I could never make this. This level was definitely rate-worthy.
What level is this?
But one issue, no one could find the level. Everyone knew the name was Elo 2, but searching it up would break.
That's crazy. Dude, within seconds he answered me.
No results.
Elo
Next,
2.
People would ask for ID, and it was always the same. The ID is ... Although this level would split people's opinions on Mikasta. What was once an incoherent hacker was now suddenly an amazing creator that also doesn't know how to upload a level? Something's not adding up. Some well-known creators would be accused of running some sort of alter ego account. But the weird building style of the level made any claims hard to substantiate. However, there would be an opening. In this Twitter video, there were certain...
I'm sorry this video is a little quiet, chat. I literally have this volume cranked all the way and it's still just like so quiet.
Context clues like these soda cans and this storefront, which allowed the investigator Paco to deduce that Mikasta GD
I know Paco
was from Singapore. This would lead people to immediately suspect Durian Head, as he was the most well-known Singaporean creator who is still active. The correlation between the two creating styles was clear. After this, Mikasta would claim to quit Geometry Dash with another incoherent Word document. Soon later, the YouTuber Redlocks would interview Durian Head.
I'm wondering what this is building towards, though.
And they finally revealed the truth. Redlocks was the player who no-clipped most of the levels, and Durian Head was the creator of Elo 2, a level that would eventually be uploaded onto his account, and of course, featured. Little did the Geometry Dash community know that an operation far bigger than Mikasta was about to fool everyone. An unknown player suddenly started frequently releasing levels that were named according to the digits of pi. This player was Gerald Brown, and his first level was of course...
That's such a regular name for honestly that's kind of that goes really hard. You just like imagine like your screen name is just like John. Well, all I had to do was think of any last name and I couldn't. John Brown.
Named 314. This was followed by 159, but no one would really notice until
John Geometry. There we go.
Third level 265 got raided. The styles of these levels would heavily differ. As if that wasn't enough, he was releasing a level once every 2 days. Most of his levels would get featured, and the level 937 would get an epic rating. This is the biggest honor for any creator, especially one so new. Could this much consistency and dedication...
John Brown was a real guy? I feel like most, if you come up with most regular names, like without us like making up like sprinkled triceratops, like most, if you use real names, that's definitely someone who has existed, right?
Can really be the work of one person? During this time, even extremely consistent creators like Yunhasu14 only released one level a week. This would shake up many members of the creator leaderboard, which was topped by Vibrant, a veteran creator with over 270...
Vibrant was the one who just stepped down, no?
creator points. Vibrant had been
That I got wrong on the Geometry Dash Jeopardy quiz.
creating for years. There was entire updates where he was the undisputed fastest creator. Doing the math, Gerald Brown was gaining approximately 26 creator points a month. If Gerald Brown stayed this consistent over the period of a year, he would easily overthrow the #1 creator Vibrant.
Burnout?
This
Or something
achievement
else.
would be especially impressive because only 4 people have ever had the #1 spot on the creator leaderboard. There were
Or fraud?
theories here and there about Gerald Brown being a fake player, but the truth would be revealed far sooner than everyone expected. Some users were chatting in Vibrant's Discord server when suddenly the topic of Gerald Brown was brought up. Vibrant would suddenly hint at the unthinkable. A few days after this message, Gerald Brown would reveal on Twitter that he was actually many different creators, each responsible for levels of their own. There were over a dozen other people involved in the project in some other way, whether they were a spectator or a creator. Today, the Gerald Brown account is mostly inactive.
But why? Why would level creators share an account?
The occasional joke post that tells a story from the POV of a 14-year-old Brazilian Geometry Dash player. One of these stories would be him escaping Brazil, where he then found himself on an abandoned island. After struggling to find food and shelter, he eventually hoped his family would find him, and they did. What a wholesome story. However, this still isn't the craziest case of a secret group behind a Geometry Dash player. To find the greatest Geometry Dash player who never existed, we have to go back in time to the first ever fake player.
Oh, it's because they didn't have a way to make collab levels without account sharing at the time? That actually makes a ton of sense. So then, like, you just have the level saved to the one account, and it's just like, hey, man, I'm going to hop in and work on my part today. I don't know why I made them sound like that. I'm really sorry. They probably sound normal. I'm going to work on my part of the mega collab today. Sorry.
No one was more known in the community than the top player, Riot. He was able to complete several of the game's hardest levels.
Riot. Riot? Oh, yeah, they made Valorant and League of Legends, right?
Maps so difficult they were known as extreme
That's a joke. I'm playing Bloodbath right now.
demons. There was no greater honor than owning the hardest rated level in the game. Riot owned the #1 level Bloodbath, but some players like Servant Trusto were starting to catch up to his skill, putting his top player status in question. He looked to claim his undisputed #1 spot by beating Sonic Wave. He was competing with a player called Mefaway, someone who was only known as a Sonic Wave specialist because all of his other achievements paled in comparison. The race to beat Sonic Wave was underway, but it was
How hard Sonic Wave again? It's like top 300, no?
about to get a mysterious third wheel who no one knew about.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. TeejVeen enters the scene.
This guy who got 81% on Sonic Wave was named Quor, someone who had been active in Geometry Dash
This was, what video were we just reacting to? People in chat brought this guy up. They brought up Quor. I was like, what the heck is Quor? Oh, was it the answer to one of the Jeopardy questions?
for less than a month. Normally, you'd expect an up-and-coming player's first video to be something easy like me being Stereo Madness.
Wait,
Impressive,
W, we're learning about it.
right? Well,
I'm guessing this is why someone recommended this video, because this was a recent one that was in the Discord.
Quor's first videos were extreme.
Join the Discord.
Of course, people were initially suspicious,
Dude, is this what Quor actually looks like?
but Quor streamed on Twitch and there was no evidence of him hacking. He beat every level with insanely low world record attempt counts. He was second to beat Betrayal of Fate, only behind the controversial player Mailman, someone who just like Quor had an extremely fast rise, but not nearly enough evidence to back up his achievements. Quor was on a journey to take over Geometry Dash. Everyone's eyes were set on the race to beat Sonic Wave.
It's kind of a cool little blue skull guy. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I can't believe they leaked Quor like that. Kind of disrespectful.
The top players had a hard time
But why would you make an account? Like, it makes sense from a creator perspective why you would share an account if you're working on a level together. Why share an account? But players. Why players share account? Why players shared account for playing levels?
piecing this together. How could they find no evidence on the most suspicious player in Geometry Dash history? Well, lucky for Serve, he was about to receive a message from Mailman that would explain everything. Quor wasn't one
But I don't understand what the social experiment is. Like, is the social experiment can we get away with playing Geometry Dash on one account and people thinks it's one guy? Like, how is that? I don't like. I understand that I don't understand what the intrigue, because it's low-key funny. Okay, I can get behind that.
One person. Quor was a collective of players, each of which were all specifically designated to beat certain extreme demons. Mailman beat Betrayal of Fate once for his account and a second time for Quor's. Wabusher beat Bloodbath, and several other top players would help slay the top demons. Gygus was
Yeah, I think the social experiment is a bit of like clickbait, but I do think it's funny.
responsible for talking like Quor.
I think most of the answers for why do Geometry Dash players do things sometimes is they're either trolling or trying to be funny, which is fine.
Successfully created a persona of Quor being a mysterious.
But I don't think they're running like all these case studies with documents and stuff like, let's see if we can really stump these folks. But I understand that's compelling packaging for a video.
Korean player with broken English, inspired after legendary players of Geometry Dash's past. However, there was a major flaw. Mephoe was the player who got 98% on Sonic Wave. He also got a 90% run on the Quor account and was involved with the project from its inception. Mephoe would suddenly decide to invite the infamous player Auroris. Other team members advised against it, but it was too late. Everything would come crashing down. You see, Quor had been compromised. Auroris was an incredibly suspicious and controversial player. Upon joining Quor, all he would do was blackmail and threaten the members, leading to them just deciding to quit the project altogether.
Wait, a toxic guy who's really bad and mean and manipulative to others in the GD community? Unlucky.
Quor would be completely publicized in August of 2016 on a GD forums post by the group's leader, Nicrodox. While the occasional theory pops up of there being a fake top player, it really hasn't been proven, and even though Quor's potential was never fully reached, I'm not sure if there will ever be another quote-unquote player like him again. Maybe because the Demonless team will ban you nowadays if you're part of a group account. So why were these 3 accounts made in the first place? You could argue it's just to do a little trolling, but the
That is what I suspect.
amount of effort that it takes to build these fake personas is quite insane.
I mean, that's why I'm confused. Like, if this is all just a joke, why put forth all the effort?
To think about. I guess
But also, some people online are insane. And some people are just like, what if we could come up with this elaborate ruse because it's funny? And it's like, dude, what if you like... Sorry, I shouldn't say the job word.
this was their way of showing passion for their
And that's friendly fire because I'm also unemployed.
seemingly simple favorite mobile game. In a game like Geometry Dash, it is inevitable that someday you will create your last level. Someday you will beat a demon more difficult than anything you've achieved before, and then never do it again. So I guess with the limited time that we all have with Geometry Dash, we might as well make the most of it, right?
Oh, that was it. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. Like, I feel like it doesn't have an explanation, right? It was just like, yeah, committing to the bit. Okay. I guess it's less of a video if you're just like, this is an interesting, weird thing that some players did one time. Like, most people don't click on that video versus like, this was a Mr. Beast social experiment, you know? Like, no hate to Matt Mart. But like, I remember even with the Jeopardy video, people were just like, dude, Quor was crazy. And I guess I was expecting just something a little deeper than like, oh yeah, some players just like, they had a shared account together. Yeah, just kind of did it to mess around. Like, it's so pedestrian. But yeah, oh, okay, that was cool. W React, like and subscribe to Matt Mart. And yeah, let me know what I should react to next in the comments. I'll see you in the next one. Did you like that? Don't even pretend like you didn't. You made it that far in the video. Well, did you know that I stream Monday through Friday on Twitch and YouTube, and you could catch me live and get to be a part of the experience when it happens? Also, if you don't care about that, or otherwise you want to see more of the video that you just watched, link in the description to watch the full VOD. Do that, please. I have a black eye because I play basketball sometimes. Bye. Oh,